Hi there. Thank you for joining us for our GradeCam 101 session today. To access the resources that you see in this presentation, go ahead and use the bit.ly link that you see in the bottom left corner of your screen. This is our customer experience team that I'm a part of. We have Busy, Kate, and I that are here to support you with using GradeCam. I'm sure you've spoken to Busy before in support or emailed her, and Kate and I get to talk to all of our school and district leaders, helping and guiding you through using GradeCam. If you haven't logged into GradeCam recently, we have had a makeover over the summer. You'll notice a new landing page, and there are links here to show you all of the new features that were released this fall. But let's go ahead and jump into our topic for today, which is making grading easier. The format for our webinar today will follow these 3 steps. So we'll walk through the platform step by step to show you some of the tips for making grading easier. Then we'll go over some of our pro tips to make sure some of our advanced users know all that they can do to utilize the tools. And lastly, we'll walk through some extra credit activities that you can do to kind of go beyond making grading easier. To get started, we're going to review by question grading. This is a great feature within GradeCam to help you score those open-ended responses that you've captured using our question type called open response capture, or to take a look at the fill in the blank or numeric question types that you've had GradeCam auto score for you. Another tip for making grading easier is using our grade transfer option. So we'll review both of those. Some of the pro tips we'll review is how to edit your answer key to update the grading if you need to, if you've noticed that you want to honor some of your scholars' responses and give credit to those, and even provide alternate answer options than you originally used on your key. We'll also review how to look at performance bands and how you can use those performance bands to change up the way you're doing your grading and to give feedback to students. And then we'll wrap up with some extra credit ideas. If you haven't tried out our score and credit assignments, we'll review those quickly, as well as our observational form that could be modified to use as an assignment tracker. So let's go ahead and jump into the system. So here we are viewing our homepage. To access an assignment to look at that by question grading, I'm going to jump in to one of the assignments I've already given. Let's see if I can find the example here. And we're going to jump straight into that by question format. So in your responses tab of your assignment, after you've already scanned or given your assignment online, you choose the by question icon. And you can look through any of your previously scored questions, any of the rubric scored questions like your numeric answers, like we're seeing here, or fill in the blanks like you're seeing here, or even some of those open-ended essay questions that you may be using either rubric points or rubrics for, as well as using either online or our scanning methods. So here's a quick and easy way for you to look quickly through all of the open-ended responses that students have given, and just in the moment decide how many points you're going to give to each response. And here I'm showing the points-based version of this question type. You might also see on your bubble sheets or in your online methods this rubric option. So let me switch to rubric really quick and make sure that I have the right grading scale. So it might also look like this, where you simply have bubbles that you can fill in and change in the rubric scores right in the moment as you're looking at student responses. So that's one tip for making grading a lot easier. Another tip while I'm here is that you might notice that as you're scrolling through, you want to give credit to a particular response that a student has, especially when we're using these fill in the blank types of questions. So here you can see some of the responses that students gave. And if there was a misspelling or if there was something I wanted to give partial credit to, I always have the option to go back to my key, find that fill in the blank question, edit it, and then add additional answers. So if I wanted to give options for students that may have had the right answer, but they just spelled it wrong, or had a typo, I can do that. I also can change the point value. So if I want to give partial credit, I have that option here. So that's a nice, quick and easy way to make grading go so much faster. You don't have to re-administer the assignment. You don't have to create a new assignment and have students try it again. You can just simply regrade right on your answer key. Another tip for making grading easier is using our grade transfer option. So you'll notice on the responses page, you have that transfer choice. You can select the class that you'd like to transfer grades for. And here you can choose to give either points, percents, or your performance bands in the grading. So you have that quick and easy way to capture all of the grades that you have within GradeCam, open up your gradebook and simply paste in those grades. You can decide what to do for blanks. You can add zeros or just skip over them. Those are all choices that you have right here in the screen and with your toggle down options that you see here. Additional pro tips to review are the performance bands. So after you've given your responses, you've graded all those responses, you can click on the reports tab, and here's where your performance bands come into play. So depending on the purpose of your assignment, whether it was a formative assessment or a more summative test in nature, you can choose different performance bands to give feedback to students and to drive your next steps. So here I'm looking at basic mastery performance bands. This might have been a formative assessment, and I just want to generally know, did students get it or not? Do I need to review or can I move on? So my cut points are pretty generous. This isn't being used for a grade. It's just letting me know in the moment where we are. But if I did want to use a particular grading scale with this assignment, I have the option of choosing a grading scale that matches my gradebook, maybe my report card, or maybe a particular rubric. So I have all of these options that quick and easy, I can take the data I already have and view it through different lenses for data analysis. So another tip for making your grading life even easier. If you need tips for how to set up your own performance bands, you're not seeing performance bands in your list that you want to choose from, remember that you can go into your profile, choose settings, and right here where it says performance bands, you have the option to add additional performance bands. So here's where you can view performance bands that have already been shared to you, or if you have a performance band that you've created and you want to adapt, you have the option of changing any of the labels, the abbreviations, and the cut point ranges and the colors for the performance bands that you're already using. So nice quick tip there. You can personalize the data analysis experience for whatever needs that you have. And then to move on to extra credit, there are different assignment types that you might not yet have explored in GradeCam that make grading a lot easier. One of those assignment types is called a score assignment or a credit assignment. You can find that on our homepage. When you go to create an assignment, you have all of these assignment types, and you've likely used the multiple question assignment, but we do have the scored assignment and credit assignment for you as well. These assignment types allow you to print out a form or a bubble sheet, laminate it onto a journal or copy it onto a particular page that you're using, and just quickly scan to give credit or a particular point value to an assignment you're working on. So in our slide deck, I've given you a little link here to a video that gives you some tips. And you can see Kate in our video is holding up one of those laminated score forms where she simply bubbled in a student ID and bubbled in a score that matches the score that she has directly in front of her. There's another one for an elementary example. As you're working on a project, you might affix some of these forms to the projects that you're working on so that you can score them really quickly in the moment. So I'll let you check that out. She also has some examples that you can use laminating these forms right on your journals so you can quickly give credit if you're collecting any journaling information, homework assignments, quick and easy grading right in the moment. Another idea that we have for you in the extra credit area is this assignment tracker. So within GradeCam, you have the observational assignment that most folks use for doing performance or skill-based assessments where you have a whole class list and you're grading on a rubric. But you can modify that observational assignment to be an assignment tracker where you have a class list in front of you, and each column of the observational assignment, which is up to 6, I believe, can be used to track different assignments. So there's a quick link within our presentation to that Tip Tuesday idea. It gives you a picture of what an observational form looks like with your class list and the assignments that you're tracking across the top. And then once you're done collecting all those assignments, maybe it's over the course of a week, you simply write in the point values for those assignments, scan this one page, and all of those grades will instantly be available within GradeCam. You even have the option of affixing a personal standard to that assignment tracker so that you have skills associated with those scores. And then lastly, our last extra credit tip is to reuse compatible forms. So you have the ability to create a form that is generic to assignments and reuse it for all different purposes. So if you know you're always going to do a morning warm up with 5 questions, or you want to do a check for understanding or exit ticket with 10 questions, multiple choice, you can walk through creating a generic form. You can see a picture of one here where you have a student ID, multiple choice, and even fill in the blank options that you can reuse over and over again. And there's tips here and steps for how to go about minimizing these, putting multiples on a page, cutting them out. And most folks try laminating them, as you can see here in our bingo method Tip Tuesday, right here available right on a page for you to quickly bubble in with a Sharpie or a marker to make grading go even faster. So I hope those gave you some great tips. If you ever have questions about this particular topic of making grading easier, you can email us at support@gradecam.com or give us a call, or simply reach out to Kate and I, and we would be happy to give you additional tips or help you with whatever you're using GradeCam for. Thanks for joining us today.